Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam Allman.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we'll be playing the second part of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door for the Nintendo GameCube, covering Chapter 1, Castle and Dragon. But before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
My ankle hurts. It's not even my bad ankle. My good ankle hurts. I don't know why. I didn't do anything to it. It's not fair.
That's so weird.
I was walking into the library to renew my library card, and my ankle just started hurting. But I was very brave, and I pushed through it, and I renewed my library card.
Good. I'm very proud of you for being brave.
And supporting my local library.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Everyone, if you don't already, please support your local library.
A lot of them even have video games.
They do, like mine.
Don't support those. Don't support the ones that have video games. Those are the unethical ones.
So my wife and my wife's wife have both been sick the last week, almost the entire week. By today, they're mostly over it and getting better. But so I've been spending the last week taking care of them, making trips to the store to get anything they need, cooking dinners and yada yada yada, you know. But also at the same time as that, also just haven't been able to, I've been trying to avoid getting sick, which as it turned out was useless because the last couple of days my throat was starting to feel yucky, so I'm guessing I'm starting to come down with it too. But it's been a little bit sad and lonely because of that. Been doing that, and I've been playing more, continuing to get into Legends Arceus. If I get into, I mean, do silly post-game nonsense that no person should ever subject themselves to. Continuing to try to get a perfect Pokedex with every entry. I'm currently working to finish up Crobat's perfect Pokedex entry.
Did you say Crobat?
I did say Crobat. I did all the evolutions.
Nice.
And I did the dumb Zubat one, which can I just complain about when you go to look something up, like, oh, hey, how do I do this? Like, what's going on with this in the game? And you find, oh, here's the answer. And you're like, cool. And you try that, and you try it, and you try it, and it doesn't work. And then you double check again, and you scroll down, and you see someone replied to what you saw and said, hey, that's actually not true. This is the thing you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you told me someone would just tell lies on the internet?
Yeah, I hate that with IT forums because I'll Google an error at work, and they're just like, oh dude, all you got to do is reset the continuum transfunctioner and then your FlexNarcs will be working. And I'll be like, awesome, great. So I do that, and it's not working. I'm like, oh no, what's the matter? And I look, and they're like, dude, you don't have to do that. You just have to turn it off and turn it back on again. And I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks. I wasted, because I do those things connected to somebody's computer, so they're like sitting back and watching me click stuff, and I just waste their time, and it's not fun.
I like Crobat.
I do too. Crobat's very nice.
Mm-hmm. I like Crobat way better than the other two.
Agreed. I don't like as much the one of the things you need to do for Crobat is specifically catch them while they're in the air, which there is one spot in the game where there is a Crobat in the air, and the mechanics of catching a flying Pokemon in Legends Arceus are really annoying, and it's really easy to just burn 20 of like the jet balls or whatever trying to catch one, and it just feels bad. The physics of it feel weird.
I never got far enough for that.
I never will get far enough for that.
Yeah, that's one of the games that I want to get back to because I've heard nothing but good things. But the list of games that I need to get back to are getting longer and longer, and I keep playing stupider and stupider fan-translated Super NES RPGs in my free time.
You don't have to get back to any game.
That's true.
They're fake.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of games that I got back to, I played some more Rebirth this week, and I am currently in Junon proper, about to go out and do the parade. But the coolest thing happened while I was playing this week.
Oh,
I was
please tell
I
us.
was out doing mini games, right? I was just doing little mini game quests. Like there's a quest to play the card game, and I really like the card game. I wish they would spin it off, but not make it multiplayer. They just would like give me a whole bunch of give me a Yu-Gi-Oh GBA game, but with Queen's Blood. That's what I want. But so I was playing it, and then when I finished a match, the screen gets all like staticky and cuts in and cuts out, and then it cuts to this guy going crazy in a cell talking about, no, I can't let the secret get out, the true secret about Queen's blood. And then it cuts back to Cloud like holding his head like, what's going on? And I'm like, even the mini game quest line is Final Fantasy VII remaked all over it. It's so hilarious and amazing, and I had a giant smile on my face the entire rest of the night that I was playing. It's so good.
I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I love Queen's Blood.
I'm really
I
glad that
love
people have
video
been enjoying
games.
it. I'm really glad. It makes me the joy it has been bringing to people I know and care about. It's been wonderful.
I surprisingly have zero spoilers for this game. Like I'm going so slow and I've seen nobody
Ooh.
talk about it. So I don't know anything of the disc 3 crazy that's obviously going to happen because that's happened in the last game. So I know nothing about it whatsoever besides of course the part that starts at the very very beginning of the game. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But
I've just been trying to do all the world data in Gongaga, which is annoying because the Gongaga region is annoying to navigate, as anyone who has played the game will tell you. But the music there is good.
yeah, I didn't finish the world data for the Junon area. I did all the side quests, but I didn't go do all of the map icons because the monster intel, they were all kicking my ass. So I was like, fuck you, I don't want to do
A
that
lot of the
anyways.
monster intel fights are pretty hard.
Yeah, and I also I hate that I look at the map and it's like you are 50 feet away from your destination. And I'm like, cool, awesome. And then I trek like 17 miles to go to the other side of the mountain to climb up and get it. And it just it's not fun. But the black chocobo is cute, and I like the way that he climbs mountains.
Yes.
But other than that, I've just been hyper focused on a new hobby and done nothing else for the entire week.
I know the feeling.
Except for play Super Mario. Nope, that's not it. Paper
That's
Mario,
not it.
Thousand Year Door.
That's not it, Chief.
Nope.
Super Paper Mario, the 1,000 Year Sticker Splash.
Splash. Colon the Origami King. uh, but yeah, let's listen to some music and then we'll talk about this. We'll talk about Mario. That's what we'll do.
Mario and Goombella, ready to start their adventure, head underground to find the pipe that leads to Petal Meadows. On the way, they have to fight a giant blooper, and it's not hard. They find the pipe, take the pipe, and Chapter 1, Castle and Dragon.
I feel like a little phoning it in with that chapter title.
Yeah, there is a castle and there is a dragon, but
I mean, it's it's truth in advertising. Just sometimes your truth in advertising is so truthful that it's like, did you didn't need to advertise that?
yeah. They arrive in Petal Meadows, and immediately they hear a mighty roar and see a giant dragon fly to a far-off castle. They pass some rocks with conspicuous holes in them on their way to the local town of Petalburg. The requisite dude who stands at the entrance of the town to greet people says the dragon Hooktail has been terrorizing the town. Goombella asks if he knows about the crystal stars. He doesn't, but he suggests they go ask the mayor. So Mario and Goombella go to talk to the extremely old mayor of Petalburg, who says the enormous ornery dragon Hooktail has the crystal star they're looking for. The mayor says they'll need to take a secret pipe near the village to find some stone keys in order to reach Hooktail's castle. On the way out of town, Mario gets an email. I guess that's going to be a thing in this game.
Not just an email on the Game Boy Advance SP.
Yeah. I love how, like in Luigi's Mansion, you have the Game Boy horror and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I don't remember what the email says because in the video I'm watching to write my summary, they don't read it. But I think it was just like explaining that you can, in fact, get emails.
That's right.
Yeah, it was like a thing about that. There's going to be a newsletter for Rogueport that you're going to be getting bits of throughout the game, and it was kind of letting you know about that. And then also, it was an email from Professor Franklin being like, "Hey, emails exist.
Technology is amazing."
Yeah, I
Shorts
love
are
that.
comfy and easy to wear."
I love that you get it on the Game Boy Advance SP because Nintendo legitimately tried to make the Game Boy and then the Game Boy Color and then the Game Boy Advance and then the Game Boy Advance SP into a personal digital assistant, and it never ever worked. And so they're living their dream in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. It's finally working.
Mario and Goombella head to the town gate where a clothes-wearing Koopa named Koops calls out to them. He says he's heard they're traveling to Hooktail's castle and he has a favor to ask. Then he's like, no, never mind, bye, and runs off. Mario and Goombella are a little weirded out, but continue on their way. They find a fortress outside town where they have to fight bad guys who are impervious to regular attacks. Luckily, there are POW blocks hidden right before each fight, which make quick work of them. At the end of the fortress, they find a thwomp. It says that if Mario wants the stone keys, he must compete against him. But if Mario fails, he'll suffer a terrible fate. That means it's time for a quiz show. Answer 5 questions right, and you win. Answer 3 wrong, and you suffer cruel punishment.
You want to know what the cruel punishment is?
Oh, I know what it is. I saw,
You
but you can say what it is.
Oh, okay. I'd never failed it before, so I did. The cruel punishment is fighting 3 clefs, like normal clefs, like with the spikes on them, which this early in the game would be very difficult if you didn't just use a POW block on him.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't. I actually used up all my POW blocks getting here because there are several enemies that require POW blocks. There's literally no other way to fight them.
Yep.
So I just had to fight them with the power smash badge and do my best.
Yep. Most of the questions aren't hard, so probably you won't fail unless you try. But yeah, if you fail, you have to fight a bunch of clefs, and they're hard.
The only hard one I had was like, how much do these 2 items cost at the Petalburg item store, which I didn't go into because I loaded up in Rogueport before I left, and I'm like, who knows? Could be anything.
I was like, what the fuck is with that question?
It's a real like, hey, were you paying attention to the things in this game?
No.
No, okay.
It's like when Chuck Quizmo asks you how many windows Goombario's house has, and I'm like, what the fuck?
How am I supposed to remember that? The answer
Am
is
I
1.
Sherlock fucking Holmes? No.
It also reminded me of in the beginning of Trails to Azure when Randy's uncle shows up and he's like, how many people were on that train that just passed by? I was like, I don't fucking know. It's not fair.
Yeah. And then if you don't know how many people are on the train, you have to fight 3 clefs. Either way, the thwomp admits defeat and reveals a secret pipe which leads to some sewers, where Mario and Goombella find the stone keys, along with a lot of fuzzies. They return to Petalburg on their way back to the conspicuous stones from before, and again they run into Koops. The nervous young Koopa says he wants to go with Mario to fight Hooktail. He says his father went off to battle Hooktail long ago and never came back. He wants to get revenge and finish what his father started, for everyone's sake. Koops joins the party. He's like Cooper from the first game, except he's got a fun twist on his shell shooting ability. You can shoot it out, but then make him stay there and go off and do something else. And then when you release the button, he goes back and he can hit stuff on the way back.
It's cool.
It's useful for puzzles.
Yes. Coops' girlfriend, Koopy Koo, walks up.
God,
I love her. She says he doesn't have to go off and do something so dangerous, and she just wants to be with him. And he's such a weakling and crybaby. What can he do anyway? And I'm like, wow.
She's really terrible. She honestly, I don't listen. I love this game so much. I do feel like it was copying his own homework a bit because I'm like, isn't this basically just Lackalester's girlfriend from the last game? Like, very similar vibes and design, except different kind of Koopa.
Coop stands his ground and insists on going with Mario. Koopy Koo isn't happy and does the shell shooting thing at them about it, but she can't really stop them. Mario uses the stone keys on the conspicuous stones and reveals a puzzle which requires using Koop's partner ability. After they do that puzzle, a pipe appears, leading directly to Hooktail's castle. Mario and friends enter the castle and face many puzzles and enemies. Partway through, Koops notices a particular Koopa skeleton among the Koopa skeletons littering the castle, which he just knows belonged to his father. The skeleton is holding a letter. Quote, I came to this castle to destroy Hooktail, but I am stuck and can go no further. So, in this letter, I shall note Hooktail's weaknesses for those who follow. The dread Hooktail cannot tolerate creatures that begin with CR and end with ICKET. Hidden somewhere in this castle is an item related to Hooktail's weakness. If one is to have any hope of defeating Hooktail, one must first find that item. One last thing. If faced with ultimate doom, the fiend will use any trick to save itself. If you hope to defeat it, do not give in to your kinder nature and fall for its tricks. Alas, I do not have the strength to continue writing. Already mist veils my eyes. My last words go to my son, Colorado. I love you, and I'm proud of who you've become. That wasn't Koops' father at all. Trombone sound effect.
Koops had some real Gorgug energy right here.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
really
oh.
did.
He's like, oh, that's my dad. And then immediately he was like, oh, it wasn't my dad. But those bones over there, absolutely my dad.
Wait a minute, Mayor of Pellbrook, are you my dad?
Wait, the famous archaeologist Colorado is my brother?
Also, Colorado's dad was proud of him.
I mean,
I'm sorry, I couldn't help the joke.
Yeah. Our heroes continue through the castle and encounter another large black treasure chest. A voice from within asks Mario to open the chest and let it out. It promises to not curse Mario. What could go wrong? Mario finds the key, unlocks the chest, and an evil spirit appears.
Oh, no.
It hits Mario with a terrible curse. Mario is now doomed to turn sideways and become thin like a piece of paper when he holds the R button.
Truly evil. Utterly despicable.
I love that Nintendo games try to make characters in universe explain controls. It's the stupidest thing in the entire world. Like, imagine you're just talking to somebody. It's like, oh, to do that, you need to press the X button. And it's like, what the fuck?
It reminds me of, have you seen, we phrase it that way, have you seen those videos, I think they were TikToks, of people acting like they're Elder Scrolls characters at a college?
Yes. I love them.
They're so good. It's just amazing seeing people really put all their acting ability into emulating weird, wonky Bethesda physics.
They're just walking around the boys' dorm being Elder Scrolls characters. It's really good.
I'll have to look that up. It sounds amazing.
Have you seen the new assignment on Blackboard? They're trying to kill us.
Mario uses this terrible curse on his way out of the room to pick up one of those worthless badges that just changes the sound effects when you attack. Whoever used those, what a piece of junk. We put the badge away and forget about it. Mario and friends continue on and find a room filled with treasure chests and a glamorous phantom thief named Miss Mouse.
Oh, Miss Mouse!
The partner Mario currently has out tells her that she's not getting the crystal star before them, and she's like, oh, interesting. I guess I'll let you have the crystal star since you were searching for it first. She smooches Mario and says somewhere in the castle is a badge that will help us beat Hooktail, and then she jumps out the window.
If you have Goombella out for this, she calls her a floozy.
I love Gimbella.
I do too. I've also been keeping track on the Discord and share. Actually, I haven't shared all of them on the server, but I've been keeping track of every single time Goombella calls a girl cute. I'm up to I think 4 or 5 so far.
Nice.
She does it a lot.
Interesting. So Miss Mouse said a badge would help us, but we haven't found any badges. Except that sound effects badge. And we know Hooktail can't stand things that begin with CR and end with ICKET. Could that badge's sound effect be? Why, it's just crazy enough to work. Mario and friends reach the top of the castle, where they find the terrible dragon Hooktail. She threatens to eat Mario. Boss battle! When Mario attacks with the sound effects badge equipped, his attacks make cricket noises, and Hooktail is nauseated by it, weakening her considerably. Huzzah!
I don't know what you're talking about. I beat her up without using such a badge.
You're weird. So
for no reason.
Good for you.
So because they're a free badge, I'm always just like, why not? I'll put them on. And when I was using it, it didn't sound like crickets to me. It sounded like
a frog,
like a frog or springs or something. And so I didn't think I had solved the puzzle of this dungeon. And I get to the top, I'm like, I never found a cricket. There's nothing in here. And so I left all the way to the bottom, and then I'm like, I don't feel like actually looking. And so then I walked all the way back up to the top, and I was like, I'll just fight him without it. It's no big deal. And so I get to the boss fight, and I do my first attack, and then she's like, "Oh no, the crickets!" I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was. Okay, cool. I did it."
It's honestly so clever. I love it.
Apparently, in other versions of the game, including the original Japanese one, her weakness is frogs.
Oh. Yeah, no,
so
that does sound more like a
frog than a cricket.
Interesting.
Why'd
they change that?
I don't know. She says she got an upset stomach while eating a cricket, and maybe they didn't want people to think about eating frogs because frogs are cute.
Maybe. They are cute. Frogs are very cute. The crickets are cute too.
I don't know about that. Mario and friends start kicking Hooktail's ass, and she quickly starts to plead with them to be merciful. She offers 1,000 coins, a super special rare badge, and even the opportunity to smell her feet. But Mario stands strong in the face of temptation. In her desperation, Hooktail steps off the stage and eats part of the audience to regain health. That's fucked up.
It's so cool. Like, this game has literally not had a fourth wall the entire time, and they still managed to break it, and it was so cool. I hollered when it happened.
It was a great moment.
Yes. It's such a good first chapter boss fight.
Mario and friends hop off the stage and finish the fight. The defeated Hooktail barfs up a Koopa. It's Koops' father. He reunites with his son, explains how he got eaten and survived in Hooktail's stomach for 10 years, and misgenders Hooktail for good measure.
What an ass.
It's so
just
weird.
Someone eats you doesn't give you permission to misgender them.
So I'm pretty sure that is the only text box in the game that refers to Hooktail with a gendered pronoun, but I was looking on the Paper Mario wiki because I was like, I thought Hooktail was she, and
There are several places that do refer to her with the correct pronouns.
Yeah, it said something like in the some language that's not English localization, she's referred to as male, and I was like, but she was just referred to as male in this one. I'm confused, but whatever. Pretty
Yeah.
sure canonically it's a girl dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
She has 3 cute blonde pigtails. I don't know what else you want.
After hearing that Mario is looking for the crystal star, he's like, oh, that must be this shiny thing I found in Hooktail's belly. Mario acquires the first crystal star. But where could Princess Peach be? We cut to some sort of crazy sci-fi room where 2 of those weird-looking dudes from the beginning of the game escort Peach to their leader, Sir Grotus, the weirdest looking of them all. Grotus demands to know where the map that Peach had is. Peach says she doesn't know. Grotus threatens her, saying that X-Nauts are not all rainbows and lollipops. An X-Naut appears on a screen and does the Wakanda Forever salute, and reports that someone else is after the crystal stars and defeated the hooktail creature. He describes the mustachioed man searching for the stars, and Peach says Mario's name like an idiot. Grotus says they'll find this Mario and has Peach taken away. He turns to Lord Crump, who has been standing there this whole time, and says that if Mario has the map, he'll likely head for the Bogley Woods next. Crump is tasked with hastening the excavation there and finding the crystal star before Mario. Grotus summons the Shadow Sirens, a trio of ghostly figures. Their apparent leader, Beldam, and Grotus argue for a bit about the Sirens failing to get the map before. In the end, Grotus tasks the Sirens with finding and stopping Mario. Meanwhile, Peach is stuck in a drab room, kidnapped again. Weirdly, though, the bathroom has a lovely shower. Peach takes a shower, and then she has a very cute pigtail just for a second, and I love it.
It's so cute.
Ponytail Peach is canon. It's the real Peach for me.
Agreed.
Yes.
The ponytail looks so good on her, it's criminal.
When she steps out of the bathroom, the door to the room she's trapped in opens by itself. Weird. She steps outside the room and finds another door which opens. Inside is a giant supercomputer. It introduces itself as Tech, a flawless computer created by Sir Grotus. Peach asks why it let her in here. Tech says that it saw Peach taking a shower and got a boner.
I mean, not in so many words, but yeah.
Tech says it had an unusual reaction to seeing Peach earlier and nearly overheated. It says it must learn the meaning of this malfunction. Peach is like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. Are you like in love with me? Tech asks what this human emotion called love is. Peach tries to explain, but Tech doesn't understand. Peach says it's not something you understand, it's something you feel. Tech asks Peach to teach it to feel this thing she calls love. Peach is weirded out. Tech says it's a perfect computer. It must understand everything. If she can help it feel love, it will grant her whatever wish is within its power. While it can't let her escape, it can grant other wishes. Peach is like, well, can I contact someone? Tech agrees to let her send an email. Peach types it out on his keyboard, and he probably gets off on that, and she sends the email. Tech says she may return to her room for now. Peach leaves. That was weird.
That was weird.
Meanwhile, Bowser arrives home to his castle. Cammy has called for him, it seems. She reports that Mario went to Rogueport and is hunting for an amazing treasure. Bowser decides he wants the treasure. Cammy says she'll keep researching the treasure and asks if Bowser likes fried eggs. Obviously he does, but he's not thrilled when he learns Cammy was asking because she was planning a picnic, which fried eggs for a picnic is a weird choice.
Yeah.
A Magic Koopa walks in and reports that Princess Peach has been kidnapped in Rogueport. Bowser is furious. That's his thing. He states his determination to go to Rogueport right now. He hops in his clown car and zooms right through the wall of his castle. Cammy follows on her broom. We will find out what happens next week.
But first, some more music, and then our memorable moments. My main memorable moment is this game rules, but my secondary memorable moment is one of the little X-Nauts, which, by the way, X-Naut is hilarious because it's just X's and O's. That's a very, very good name. I love Nintendo Treehouse. But secondly, the dude runs in and he says, "You rang, dude? I mean, sir? You rang, sir? Grotus, dude? Grotus, sir? Grotus, sir?"
It's so good.
The X-Nauts are weird.
They're so you've got like Rotus, who's full just complete stoic villain vibes. You've got some of the X-Nauts who have very silly personalities like that, and they have Lord Crump, who's just like a doofus. He has like Pete from Goof Troop energy almost.
Yeah, it's a weird group. And also they have these weird like shadow people on staff, apparently. I don't know what their deal is. I called them ghostly, but I'm pretty sure they're not ghosts.
I think they're more like pirate contractors.
Yeah, I don't know.
Similarly, the bit where you're Bowser, first of all, for literally no reason, you're able to hit B and have Bowser be able to breathe fire. There's no use for this at all, but it's really fun, and I love that it's there. But also just a bunch of fun things you could do while walking around and talking to his minions, or examining the room. My favorite one that has always stuck with me being there's one of the, it's Bowser. He loves filling his castle with like statues of himself. One of them you examine and he's like, "Wait a minute, the iron, this is a jewel. It's the Bowser jewel." Just kidding.
Yeah, it's so good. He even you obtained the Bowser jewel.
As a kid, I think that actually fooled me, and I was really confused why it never came up again.
There was a kid in the game who talked to me about how he was playing Fire Emblem on his Game Boy Advance, and I was like, "You remind me of me at your age."
So he has 3 phases before you play. Actually, more than 3 phases, but at this point in the game, we've only gotten up to his first 3 phases of dialogue. He is playing Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance at first, and then after you get the keys at the Wolf's Fortress, that whole bit with the Gold Fuzzy, and come back to town. He now has apparently already finished that and has moved on to playing Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64. And then after you've beaten Hooktail and finished Chapter 1 and talked to him again, he has just started Thousand Year Door on the GameCube and talks about how much he loves the GameCube and how much fun this game is so far.
Is there gonna be a fucking Spaceballs scene where he catches up to this scene?
You think Spaceballs, I think House of Leaves. Either way,
same thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, House of Leaves is just an adaptation of stuff.
I think my brain's melting out of my ears.
Basically the novelization of Spaceballs.
Someone send help!
I'm trying to remember what my other memorable moments are. The problem is I never write down my memorable moments, but also I'm really excited to play this game, so I play it early. The past 2 episodes I've played it early because I love this game and I want to play it.
I have a few fun things, little tweaks from the last game to this one that I think are worth mentioning. We talked about the audience mechanics and things like that last time a little bit, but another thing we didn't mention, because this game loved to add just 8 different new mechanics onto the battle system, and I love it for that. One of them is bingo, where every time you successfully do an action command, you get a little bingo thing up in the top. It says bingo. It's actually more like a roulette wheel.
Yeah,
not a roulette wheel. Slot machine. It's like a slot machine.
It's very much not what bingo is, but they call
Yeah.
it bingo.
You get one symbol, and then if you at random of a bunch of different things, basically representing different things you have, and then you get a second one. And if those match, and then you get a third action command, you will get a slot machine thing of hoping you get the third one. And if you do, whatever that is, it'll refill completely. And you get a big bingo. You get a health refill, FP refill, star power refill, or if you get the stars, what are they called
Shine
from
sprites.
Shine Sprite? Thank you. If you get Shine Sprite, that's just max everything. And no matter what you get, it completely fills the audience to bursting for the rest of the fight. It is a mechanic that doesn't come up very often, but it's really fun when it does. Though you
There's
should. Oh, there's also poison mushrooms on there, and I don't know what those do because I've never gotten the bingo for them.
Yeah, I'm scared of those.
I'm also scared of those. The other mechanic, which I wasn't even aware of until I was watching someone play through this game, was doing a let's play of it recently-ish, and they came across a mechanic that I didn't pay attention to. There are some badges, so like the last game, there were some duplicate badges, but the duplicate badges were things for power plus or HP plus, things that just buffed up a stat for simple. Here, you get duplicates of things like power jump or sleepy stomp. And the reason you can get multiple is you can equip multiple of them. And if you do, it raises it will, so like if you get multiple power jumps, it will raise the damage of power jump, but also raise the FP cost of it. And if you get multiple sleepy stomps, it will increase how long the enemy stays asleep, but raise the FP cost of using it. And it's just a really neat ability. It also allows them to, because the last game there was like a power jump and then like an ultra jump or a mega jump. Like there was multiple badges of different increasing strength of jump attacks. And this time they are able to just do away with that and just be like, well, you can find multiple power jumps, and if you equip all of them, they will get to the best version.
That is really cool. There's so many weird mechanics in this game, and I love how Paper Mario 64 is so elegantly, perfectly constructed. But I also love how in this game they've just thrown a whole bunch of shit on it and made it absolutely insane and off the wall and crazy. And I feel like that is something that happens in Nintendo games sometimes. Like I'm thinking specifically of Pikmin 1 is this very carefully constructed like play almost where you have this countdown and you have everything timed out perfectly to that. But then in Pikmin 2 it's just like there's just a million things to do. There's no time limit. Just go crazy.
Yeah, Nintendo. I feel the first one in the series is their like proof that it's good and it's fun and it's really refined, and then the second one is like, let's see how far we can push it, and they expand on it greatly. And I love that. And the second ones usually become my favorites because I'm a freak that likes way too much stuff in my video games.
Sam, you just in the host chat posted the names of the
I'm
Yes.
chapter titles in other
Yes.
languages,
so
and
upset.
I like the translation of the Japanese one with Mario, the castle, and the dragon because it sounds like a Harrison Lemke song title.
Okay, but I'm
And-
annoyed that in Spanish it's the good, the ugly, and the bad. Like, are you joking? I don't know. That has more character to it.
Yeah. But my favorite one, and the reason I put it in there, is we thought that Castle and Dragon was the laziest name that Nintendo Treehouse USA could have came up with. So Nintendo Treehouse EU said, "Hold my beer," and in French, it's literally Mario plus Castle plus Dragon.
Baz Luhrmann wrote that one actually. Um. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, do we want to cover the
Do we
Trouble
want to
Center?
cobble?
I do. Do we want to cover the Trouble Center this week or next week?
I don't
The
know
what?
what that is. So next week.
Next
I
week.
have the
Okay.
opportunity to find it.
Well, I will say, because I didn't know this until this week, at least, it's an immediate thing about getting back to Rogueport. I always thought the whole thing with that lady in her contact lens was the contact lens came in when the story wanted you to get to that part of Rogueport. Like, that's how most video games work, right? Like, that's the roadblock, and you're not supposed to get there until this chapter. And, like, yeah, that makes sense. No, apparently. It just shows up one chapter later. So, if you
I
ordered
didn't order it!
you fool. If you order it before in the prologue, it shows up after you beat chapter 1. And so I can get into West Rogueport now. And I can go to the casino and gamble, and I'm happy.
Dang it.
This game.
I can't.
Gosh. Also, fun thing to point out, which I'm like, I actually haven't tested this, and I'm kind of scared to, and I don't know if I ever will. So money feels a lot tighter in this game than in the last game. There's a lot of things to spend your money on, and despite starting with way more money than they give you, you get no money at the start of the last game. You'll run out of it very quickly, and where the last game I felt like I always had enough money and items for what I wanted, pretty much. This one I've just been like really stressing about it at times, and it feels like they give you a devil's bargain because the badge shop you can sell your badges.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, I don't know if you do that. Do they add that badge to the shop's roster so you can buy it back, or is it just gone?
I don't know.
I don't know, and I'm scared. But that's I think all of my memorable moments. I think of all the chapters of this game, chapter 1 is the most standard, if that makes any sense. Like, it's the most to formula compared to the first game. Like, the dragon is definitely something new and different, and they have a lot of fun with the badge thing, and with Coops, like, has a little bit of an arc in this chapter, which is probably more than any single character got in the first game. But I would still say for this game, this is the most bog standard of the chapters, and I'm very excited to see how Sam reacts to all the twists and turns ahead of us.
Yeah, because while I was playing this week, I was like, this game almost feels like they just did Paper Mario again, but they did it better this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to see that the Socceroos was a distraction, and the rest of it is going to go.
Surely,
absolutely. I was doing the light reference, and because Trish hates Homestuck, I was trying to slide it in. But,
do what you want. I'll endure. I'll endure.
A Homestuck reference in there as well.
And I'm glad to see that the rest of them are a little less standard, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But other than that, I've been trying to do stylish commands, and Coops and Goombet are actually stylish. Mario looks stupid.
He does. I love the backflips, though. The backflips when you do a hammer attack.
Those are fun.
I love that he does a backflip, but it's not like he animates a backflip. His sprite just flips over.
Well, so fun thing, you can, with a normal hammer attack, you can just do one backflip and then like a raise your hands up like. Mm-hmm. But if you do a power smash, you can do, I think, up to 4 backflips before then doing the final. And each time you do, the jump gets higher and higher and higher.
Mm-hmm. You love to see it. But yeah, Coops break dances, and that's so cool for being a snivelly little weirdo that, as a character so far, I don't really care anything about him in battle. I'm like, man, he's so cool. He can spin on his shell. But where's that kick yourself up from on your shell when you get hit with a jump attack, Coops? Why does it take you a turn then, but you can just do it to be cool now? But yeah, I think that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us cover the cost of running the show and making it better. I realized, because we got a new person in the Discord this week, shout outs to new person in the Discord, I haven't been mentioning that the Discord is a pinned post on our website. So if you want to come and hang out with us in the Discord, we have one. You can get to it at www.rpgbook.club. I put everything there to be in one spot. So, yeah, we have a Discord. You can come talk to us. If you want, you can set up a recurring monthly donation to get some additional benefits. Where if you donate $1 more a month, you get access to our bonus feed. Where this week we still didn't play Kaseki because we're getting hit by the Kaseki curse again. So this week, me and Bernard are picking back up in Star Ocean First Departure, and we will probably do Kaseki next week. We literally are all ready. We have written the notes, played the game, we're ready to go, but it's just hasn't been happening because the Kaseki curse. I did a calculation the other day of like what would it have been like if we actually maintained weekly to on Book Club no Kaseki, and we would not only be caught up, we would have had enough time to play every other Legend of Heroes game. So yeah, the Kaseki's curse is very real. You will also get access to our polls to decide what game we play next on the main feed. Our next game is already decided. We're playing Persona 3 Reload as a little 5-year anniversary celebration. But then after that, we'll have another poll. If you donate $5 or more a month, we'll also shout your name at the end of every episode, just like this. Shoutouts to Cerebral Wind, It's Clear Time, Frost Terror, Dragon Slayer 19, Florist, Keldron, Freddy Rodriguez, Aaron524, and JFro Prime. And then finally, if you love us so much that you want to donate $20 or more a month, you also get to make me say a sentence of your choosing, either to plug something or just make me say something. Shouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. And then shoutouts to Vimke, who did me a solid and gave me some things that I could shout out about Legend of Gaia tonight. And fun fact, Legend of Legaea's main villain has 2 different colored eyes. He has heterochromia. So that's pretty cool.
Just like the villain of Final Fantasy X, Yuna.
And then shoutouts to Carr, who is a dentist. So he isn't plugging a website, but just your own mouth. And he says to brush your teeth twice a day. Most importantly, the time before you go to bed. For RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.